You're watching the Alabama Football Report. I am Tom Downey. Here with some rumors and news around the Crimson Tide. And we begin today's show with the news from late-ish last night. Before the end of June, Alabama did land one more commit after all. Isaiah, I believe it's still pronounced Faga. I've yet to see an actual pronunciation. But he announced Wednesday evening that he is committed to Alabama. He had previously been committed to Utah. Texas was pushing hard to land him. In the end, the now Alabama product, he's originally from Utah, ends up flipping to the Crimson Tide, a player that Nick Saban and company really did want to land. The second commit of June to bookend an offensive lineman near the beginning of the month. It's a notable addition for the Crimson Tide because Alabama typically doesn't offer players who aren't very good, even if they're just lowly three-star recruits. We'll go more in depth on Faga and what he brings to Alabama. But first, type in Roll Tide in the comments section to welcome him to Alabama. The more you do it, the more likely he is to be the next great Bama defensive lineman. So spam those Roll Tides for me in the comments. Isaiah is a three-star recruit. He's number 764 overall in the 24/7 Sports Composite. Now, that is the composite. We often see, especially for rivals, ESPN, etc., that maybe the rankings lag behind a little bit, and then they get adjusted and they get caught up because oftentimes you will see a three-star recruit commit to Alabama. He's going to go there. Oh, boom! All of a sudden, now he's top 400 minimum, right? He's number 78 defensive tackle, and he's the 33rd ranked recruit in the state of Alabama. Again, all those rankings from the 24/7 Sports Composite. So with this likely, maybe there could be a surprise commit on Friday, but potentially being the final commit of June, this is where the Crimson Tide currently sit. They have a 9-man recruiting class, 3 5-stars. Talked a lot about Julian Sayin on this program. Jalen Mbakwe, Perry Thompson. Jeremiah Beeman jumped up a bunch of spots since the last time we checked in on this earlier in the month. Caden Jones is a 4-star linebacker. Sterling Dixon, Rico Scott, and then the 2 recruits this year. Defensive tackle Isaiah Faga and 3-star interior offensive lineman, Joseph Ionata, who actually dropped a lot in the rankings, which was kind of weird, but he is now out to the top 1,000. I don't think those last 2 players will stay where they are currently ranked. Now, this is where things sit in the top 10. Georgia is number 1. They've got 21 commits. OSU, Michigan, Florida, Notre Dame, Penn State, USC has jumped up these rankings significantly. Oregon, LSU, Clemson, no major surprises there in terms of those programs being in the top 10 or where they're at. Historically, those are significant powers in the college football landscape after all. Alabama, though, is 27th. Again, it's only 9 commits. The 24/7 Sports Composite factors in the quantity a little bit more heavily, maybe like the on-3 recruiting composite, but Bama will rally. They always do. So where will the Crimson Tide and Nick Saban finish in the 2024 recruiting rankings? This will be today's pinned comment. So if that ad plays here on YouTube, if you get it, that's cool. Ignore the ad. No one cares. Go vote instead at the pinned comment and let me know where Alabama finishes in the recruiting rankings. Kirk Herbstreit once again chiming in on Alabama and Nick Saban and has once again backed the Tide entering this season. Here's what Herbie said, which is similar to what he said previously on the Crimson Tide. Since he has been the coach, they come so close. Then they don't make the playoff, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's over. And then they go on to win a championship, or they make the playoff and get upset in the semifinal. It's like, oh no. If you go back and watch it, there is an ebb and flow to Alabama. And when they lose and come up short of the playoff like they did last year, everyone talks about Kirby Smart in Georgia. They deserve all the credit for what they have accomplished. But when you say there's a new sheriff in town and Alabama's done, I'm not falling for it. When Nick Saban retires and is done, then I will look at Alabama and say, what are they going to do now? As long as he is the head coach and they're coming off a down year, put me down for Alabama. Look, Herbie's not wrong about the doubt for the Crimson Tide. There is some who think Bama will win, but they are not the SEC favorite this year. That is Georgia. Herbie's right when the buzz has been, Georgia, Kirby Smart, they're the team to beat now. We will go more in depth on why people think that is. The quarterback plays a big role, and the national title odds. But first, 25% off Alabama football jerseys. on sale. Not sure how much longer it'll last. Custom jerseys, official Nike jerseys, by the way. Historic jerseys like Bryce Young, Derrick Henry, etc. Get yours today at chatsports.com/Alabama jersey. That's chatsports.com/Alabama jersey. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. These are the 2024 college football playoff title odds. Georgia's your betting favorite. Ohio State, Alabama, both at plus 600. Michigan's at plus 900. And then USC plus 1,400. So Alabama is still viewed as one of the favorites, but not the favorite. And not the favorite in the SEC in the way that they used to be in years past. That's why there's been the Kirby Smart, Georgia's the team to beat as they deal with some fairly significant off-the-field concerns as of late. The big reason why there's doubt about Alabama, I think, is the quarterback room. And it's QB1A, QB1B, QB1C between Tyler Buchner, Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson. That is not the same Heisman-esque caliber of quarterback Bama's been lucky enough to have, but I feel like we're forgetting this important fact. Bama's had success with lesser quarterbacks. Remember Jake Coker? The Crimson Tide recruit well. There is still plenty of talent on defense. I think the ground game is going to be awesome this year. So, yeah, I would not be ruling out Alabama at all. So, will Alabama win the college football playoff this year? It's okay if you vote no, or if you just want to vote yes to Speaking in Resistance, but I do want to hear your honest answers if you're able to. Why for yes and for no? Will Alabama win the college football playoff this season? Let's move to Tyler Booker as the Alabama young offensive guard is getting some hype and some buzz. Cole Kulick, the SEC analyst, I'll call him, had high praise for Booker. He's going through the top player at each position, and he said Booker should be the best guard in the SEC this year. In fact, he could even potentially emerge, not just the best guard in the SEC, but one of, if not the best guards in all of college football. That is some significant praise for Booker, who I did think played pretty well in I'll call it a part-time role for the Crimson Tide last year at guard. But here's what Cole had to say on Booker. I think he has a very good chance to be the best guard in the SEC this year, one of the best guards in the country. And I think he realistically has a chance to be the best guard in the nation by the time he's done. He's a guy that makes it look easy when he moves. And there's very few guys that are playing offensive line that are 310, 315, whatever, and it doesn't look like it's a struggle for them to move around. He's got good, quick feet. He's got great body control. He's pretty much got everything you would want in an offensive lineman. More on Booker to come, but if you want a full breakdown of the offensive line, the position battles potentially going on at left tackle, who the key players are, then subscribe. We're going through our position series here on the Alabama Football Report. Offensive line is next up, the Big Hog Mollies. Hit that sub button right now if you haven't already. Tyler Booker did play pretty well in a smaller role last year. 0 sacks, 2 hits, 3 hurries. He did not grade out very well PFF-wise in the run grade. I thought he was solid in that area, so maybe a little bit lower, but he's got the size and frame to be a really good run blocker, so I'm not too concerned about it. For now, we'll put him in as the starter at right guard. I would not be overly confident in that situation for the Crimson Tide. I think that there is a chance he ends up playing on the left side, but he's going to be a starter at guard. I feel pretty confident in that one, and I think a Booker-Latham tandem on the right side, run the ball that way, could end up working out really well for Alabama.